Hi, I'm Brandy Williams, founder of Williams Accounting and Tax Services in McDonough, Georgia. We're a full-service accounting firm proudly serving clients nationwide, including military families and U.S. expats. With over 20 years of experience as an IRS-enrolled agent, we've got you covered from past tax returns to business services and strategic tax planning. Visit WilliamsActTax.com. Let's get connected and take your finances to the next level.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classic Law blog. Today has been a day, man. We've been on like 9,000 freaking phone calls out here. But let's get into it. Immigrant is not talking to you. Immigrant is not talking to you. The language of the poor versus the K-shaped economy. Why am I bringing this up? Come in, drop your city and state in the chat. That'd be awesome. I really want y'all to understand. I grew up in a military former farmer family. Now, what does that mean? Schedules. You got to get up in the morning. You got to do what you got to do. Now, maybe people say, well, Erica, I know lots of farmers. They broke and sharecroppers that are broke. Baby, let me tell you something. Yes, do you know farmers that are broke? But do you know they get up early? Right? What they've done to utilize their time, that's on them, right? Military families, okay? What are we doing? What's the schedule? Short-term, long-term. People who are high agency or high, I hate to say it because the finance bros are starting to use the terms, but people who have high outcomes. This is my blue light glasses. Sorry, I'm gonna take them off probably in a second. People who have high outcomes, high result lives come from structure. Every family I've ever met where the mom was just doing whatever, the dad was just doing whatever, they cheating, they cutting up, they having parties at their house, they cooking out. Now, years later, after high school, I see what my parents were talking about. Their families are in shambles. Absolute chaos, grandchildren in chaos, people in jail. And I'll be like, what happened? We was in the same town. We went to the same school. Schedules. Discipline, schedules. Do people get tired? Do parents get tired? Do people fall off the wagon? Yes. Before I even start this show, okay? All the time. People fall off the wagon. People get depressed. People grandma die. People mama die. Stuff happens to people. I'm not going to sit here and not discount that for y'all. But I'm going to show a few clips. Before I start showing these clips, and y'all giving me that sass, I know it's coming. Emma Green is worth $400 million. But let's go back to where she started. British white mama. Some African man done got her. Had 4 daughters with her. Dips on her. Dips out. You know, making the stereotypes terrible every day. You know, them African men go start a new family whenever they want, okay? And her mom struggled. So you're talking about a mixed person in British culture in the 1980s who has a chip on their shoulder. Who probably is like, I'll never be poor again. Right? Like, if I got to bend metal with my teeth, I'll never be poor again, right? So you guys got to realize when you're interacting with people, who you're talking to, what wavelength they on, how determined they are, right? So I want to preface that in the show before I get started. You have very high functioning families and you have very low functioning families, okay? What does that mean? This woman, because of the situation, because of having that wild ass African daddy, because how things went, became high functioning. Okay. But you know what? Dang it. Let me go lock the door. I saw 2 of the staff members leave and then close and then lock the door. I don't like that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to play this for y'all while I go lock the door.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classic Law blog. You know I want to say God bless America when I'm standing beside the American flag. And I just want you guys to thank you so much for all your well wishes on, I'm telling my birthdays, passings of my family, this channel, buildings, new construction, old construction, rentals. Listen. The best is yet to come. Thank you so much for the 10 years on this channel. And I just want to thank you for all the things that you guys have contributed to my life and that I contribute to yours. And so listen, I hope this year can be even better. And I hope you grab the book, All Roads Lead to Real Estate. We're talking about digital real estate, online to the real dirt in your hand. And we'll have lots of good commentary inside that book to help you navigate. How can you grow in this economy and also grow and play Monopoly in real life for you and your family? You guys, this doesn't have to be the worst time in our economy. It can be one of the best if you make a decision and move forward in your life. This is your girl, Erica. Thank you.
All right, boom. We are back. Drop your seat and state in the chat. We are back. So let's get to the show. Go lock that door. We don't want no surprise walk-ins. We don't like that. All right, let's get into it. Let me play these clips because I really want to title this show, Why 2026 is going to be hard for people. It ain't going to be hard for me. It ain't going to be hard for my family. But it's going to be hard for some folks. And I already know why. They ain't disciplined. They ain't got, and I don't mean discipline as their fitness. They're in the gym. They're working out hours a day. That's not what I'm talking about. That is a one-sided personality. That is not, is it good that your daddy has abs? Great that your daddy has abs. But if the house is on fire, if the mom was crazy, the kids are failing school, and your daddy's standing around like, look at daddy's got abs, that don't mean shit to me. What's going on with your damn family? Again, the Kardashians, say what you will. Chloe be looking after them kids. She be looking after other people's kids, all kind of crazy stuff. Let me go here. Let's start. We got multiple ones, but let's start here. We got 3 we're going to do.
Like 4:45. I work out.
Woo! Wow.
I get ready really, really quickly. I have like a uniform. So it's like I'm not putting outfits together. It's like the outfits are down on a Sunday.
What's the uniform?
Well, it's like usually like jeans and a nice top, a black pant and a nice top. You see me coming out of the elevator, I re-wear the same thing all the time.
Okay.
So it's like I have my uniform, I go downstairs, I have that moment of getting ready. I'm out the door at 8:15. I get to the office between kind of like 8:30, 8:45, depending on the day. And then I'm just in meetings back to back to back all day. But I leave every day at 5. And what that allows and what it creates are the conditions for everybody else to leave at 5. Because for me, that, like I said, that bedtime, that nighttime routine, that's important to me. I want to bookend the day and make sure the kids see me and I have a check-in with them. All the time I go back to work. You know, I'll be back on email or going out for a dinner. But I am really, really militant about leaving that office at 5.
To build extraordinary things, it requires a tremendous amount of energy.
You run your household like a military operation.
Like a military operation.
Let's hear it. I want to know all the things.
Well, I'm just very scheduled because when you have 4 kids, if you're going to have like 45 minutes in the morning together as a family, which is what I aim for every day, which is usually 30, but the aim is 45, you have to be scheduled. So my thing is that everyone needs to be at the breakfast table at 7:30. It doesn't matter in what state. I am up early. I wake up naturally at like 4:45. I work out.
Woo!
Wow.
I get ready really, really.
Okay, let me go here. We play this one.
Up for the right things. They drove us to places, but they didn't try to optimize every single moment, which is what I think our generation of moms is often. I feel so guilty constantly. Like, did I spend enough time with Jai today?
Yeah.
Did I get him off his screens? Did we do enough homework together? Did I take him to enough things? Like the noise is real. And I just don't think there was a lot of open up the door and go fly, little bird, fly back when we were growing up. Well, I will think that my mother, and I say this with mad love, was a 3-hour mom. And I think most mothers in the 80s and 90s actually were. And what that doesn't mean is that they did nothing. It means that they were strategic about when they showed up for the right things. They drove us to places, but they didn't try to optimize every single moment, which is what I think our generation of moms is often. I feel so guilty constantly. Like, did I spend enough time with Jai today?
Yeah.
Did I get him off his screens? Did we do enough homework together? Did I take him to enough things? Like the noise is real. And I just don't think
Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna be very controversial, and I don't even care. we hate women. The world hates women. They're like, no, I don't start like that. Let me be very clear. Okay. What had no sound? What part had no sound? Which part? Which part had no sound? Let me know what's the last thing y'all heard. Did y'all see when she was talking to, let me see here. Did y'all see this one? Did y'all see this one right here?
Monday through Friday, you are spent by the time it gets to the weekend.
Yes.
And anyone who has children, you know that you don't spend 8 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday. You have errands to run. You have things to do.
But also, kids need to be alone.
Well, and also that's part of being a parent, right? We're teaching our kids how to be independent and, God forbid, how to actually entertain themselves. So I'm the friend of the iPad. I'm the friend of a little movie every now and again. I'm just being really, really upfront about it.
They called you the Kardashian whisperer who says 3 hours with her kids is enough. Were you caught off guard by the response? I know you and I know, the full picture, but were you caught off guard when people were like, wait, what?
Well, I just think that headline would never be written about a man. But no, was I caught off guard? Absolutely not. Because I think that what happens to women is that we're held to such an impossible standard, both as parents, but also as businesswomen. And what I'm trying to do is be really honest about what it takes and be really honest about the things that I don't do. Because everybody says, how do you do it all, Emma? Or how do you wake up at 5 and run the companies? And I'm like, let's give a list of all the things I don't do. Because you know what's helpful? That's what's helpful to women.
So helpful. And this 3-hour approach, like if that was with the man, though, like you said, nobody would talk about it.
The honest truth is, and what I was trying to convey is that when you go to work every day, Monday through Friday, you are spent by the time it gets to the weekend.
Yes.
And anyone who has children, you know that you don't spend 8 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday. You have errands to run. You have things to do.
But also, kids need to be alone.
Well, and also that's part of being a parent, right? We're teaching our kids how to be independent and, God forbid, how to actually entertain themselves. So I'm the friend of the iPad. I'm the friend of a little movie every now and again. I'm just being really, really upfront about it.
They called you the Kardashian whisperer who says 3 hours with her kids is
Okay, did y'all hear that? Hopefully y'all heard it. I know y'all said we was Elsa Frozen. I'm so sorry, but I'm just gonna say it. We hate women. We try our best in the world, be like, no, we don't hate women. Look at every single country and how the rules, the abuse, the cutting, the damage, we're gonna stab. Like right now in Brazil, they're having a problem with men stabbing women when they tell them no. They're starting to arrest Brazilian YouTubers for stabbing women, for telling people to stab women. They hate it. They hate women. Okay. Now you're gonna say, Erica, that's extreme. Come on, Erica. We don't hate women. We got Mother's Day. See how we got Mother's Day? And I just want to say this, and I want to start this off very clearly. Emma is not talking to most of you. The data shows on average, a man comes home and spends 1 hour and 32 minutes with his child. Go look this data up. Don't take my word for it. There's multiple studies. The average man spends 1 hour and 32 minutes on average. So imagine the ones that spend nothing. I know people's parents who mom went to work in the day, dad went to work at night. They didn't get to see either parent barely. And so I want you to understand, like, we're doing this, we're saying this to her because the average woman is a helpmate, right? Let's just go there. They're a helpmate. They're a pusher to a bigger ideal, right? Aaron Clary, all these people, these Mansburg guys, like, look at them boss chicks suffering. Every chick I know that was a boss, a real boss chick, not this fake internet stuff, not speaking on stages doing fake shit. I'm talking about really owns companies, really owns businesses, really owns a daycare, really owns a restaurant. They're thriving. They have a husband. They going on vacation. Their kids have money. They're good. Everything in the world is a trade-off. Now, there are going to be people like, when I was home, my mom was always home and my mom did everything. Good for you. But I'm telling you, as a person who heavily interacts with women who have businesses and women who don't, she probably has more quality time with her children than you do. You sitting on the couch watching Netflix all afternoon with your children doesn't count as high quality activities. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And the stats and the data shows, even though men are like, yeah, when the men in the homes, the kids are, no, on average, the data shows men spend 1 hour and 30 minutes with their kids. What is the best thing a father provides is a stable, structural home. And I think the best way men help women is paying them bills. They work together. And when the kids get a little raspy from 8 years old to 15, daddy's there like, who the hell are you talking to? You better correct yourself. You better balance it out. but we really have to go there. Emma's not talking to most of you who are lazy. I saw there's a video going viral of a white girl talking about reactive parenting versus rhythm parenting. All it was women who schedule. And I tell y'all this right now, I called several women this past week, and they rushing at 4:00 to make dinner, and they've been home all day. They rushing at 4:00 to clean up, and they've been home all day, y'all. I mean, I'm telling y'all, I know countless women who are home all day, and I'm like, oh, are they busy? Let me see. No, they just know they try to rush and do stuff by 4:00 before the man get home, before the kids get there. Kids getting off the bus, that's when they clean up and they cooking dinner all of a sudden. And you be like, well, Erica, you must know lazy people. No, I know regular average people. That is what average women are doing. They're not. When I start hearing people say sob stories about cleaning clothes and they got to wash all this laundry for their kids, and I say, how old are your kids? Oh, they're 12, 13, 15. Well, they're old enough to do their own laundry. Why are you doing it? Well, I just don't want them to pour bleach. Baby, this is a 15-minute lesson. Son or daughter, don't pour bleach on color clothes. Only on these white clothes. Okay, son or daughter, here's how much you scoop. Push the button. All these equipment and these machines have been automated. Knock it off. I had a conversation with a couple ladies, and I was saying how the business ladies were like, oh, here's a night nurse. Here's this, here's these meal preps for moms who just have babies. This is super helpful in Austin, Texas. I'm like, oh my God, that's so helpful. I ended up talking to another friend who's more like, I stay at home, I do everything. And I said it, and they were like, well, why even have a kid if you're not going to do everything? And I started laughing because I was like, girl, why would we? Do we live in a society now where we work and we have money and we can pay to relieve our time? We live in a society that want women working themselves to the fucking bone. And then we'll have some husband leave her wife and say, well, she should have kept herself together. I'm going to tell y'all right now, men are selfish. And y'all going to say, Erica, this is a hater show. Listen, men will come home, change their clothes, go to the gym, and stay at the gym for 2 hours doing a bunch of nothing. Ask me how I know. Lots of data out there supports this. And when I go to Planet Fitness and I go to, when I go over there to Gold's Gym off Pflugerville, it'll be 9 to 10 o'clock. I'm just trying to get a late night workout, and it's full of men. And are they working out hard? Are they lifting weights? Are they going ham? No, they're sitting there on their phones. I promise you, just be all the machines full of men sitting on their phone. Mostly 80% of the time, all married men. Just now, I said, I know what it is. The dad wants to get some time away from family. He wants a break for him. When the fuck does the mom get a break? She don't get none. It's nonstop. Go get up in the morning, go to work, come back, And you're gonna say, well, Erica, listen, 80% of married women work. She don't get no break. That's why the data say the average man spends 1 hour and 30 minutes with his kid at most in a day. And women aren't much better. It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes. So it's not a competition. I just want to be very clear. This ain't the show for me, single dad too in Chicago. Hey, this isn't about the show not being for you. This is just about who is disciplined and structured. How do you get more done in a day? You have to schedule it. This ideal that you're not going to schedule anything and you're going to magically fall onto opportunities and money is false. This is the language of the poor. I'm doing the best I can. I kind of can do it. No. And again, I'm probably going to get a copyright strike for some of these and I don't even care. So let's go ahead and do it.
Even if look, make a jump like a hurdle. Girl, that a wham in a circle. Even if look, make a jump like a hurdle. Girl.
So let me close some of these windows because I have so freaking many windows open. Close all that. 97 windows open. Okay. Son 12, daughter 9. They love throwing the game laundry pods in the machine to wash their school uniforms. They turn to a game. It's not so exactly. It's not so complicated that teaching, like, there's several people who've been on the phone with me. I even know a young lady. I feel bad for her. And I say, oh, did your mom teach you how to cook? And they're like, no, I had to watch YouTube. And I was like, well, what time did your mom get off work? Her mom was home, not teaching her shit. There's a thing called low effort parenting. There are high effort parents and low effort. My nephews, by the time they were 15, could make spaghetti, could make chickens, could make simple meals, like 2 or 3 simple meals. So if something happens and I'm not here, or your mom's not here, or your grandma's not here, somebody's not here to feed you, you can eat and you won't die. Okay? You're not calling for pizza every time you get some $2 in your pocket. This is why when y'all ask, why are these young African-American men obese and overweight? Because right now, yes, you're like 80% of Black women are overweight. 70% of Black men are overweight. Go look up the data. They're not cooking food at home. It comes from structure. It comes from your mom showing you. It comes from somebody taking the steps. Now, why am I showing you this young lady? This young lady right here, you can go look her up for yourself. She's a 6-figure business owner. But why? She was dating somebody. He was whooping that ass. And she's like, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I'm going to go lose 40 pounds. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to work out, be a nurse. I'm going to take me and my dog, and we're going to live real low. We're going to do what we got to do. And I'm going to open this facility that does a healthcare product. That's all it is. Healthcare service. That's all it is. And when I tell people, I know y'all get offended when I say it don't take much to be great. Let me correct myself. It doesn't take much to be above average. It takes a lot to be great. Let's be very clear. It takes a lot to be great. It takes consistency to be above average. She could have stayed in that relationship with a dangerous person, not finished nursing school, and not been here in this position. This is why when you ask most young men from, I'd say 18 to 30, why aren't young men doing as much as young women? Sometimes, not always. And it's because there is no danger consequences if they don't. Now, let me be careful how to say this. What is the danger consequences? If you're a young man who does not go to work or does not feed yourself or doesn't have the basics, 9 times out of 10, you still can find some woman to help you. 9 times out of 10, you can still find some woman to date you, let you drive her car. You can stay with your grandma. You can go, if at worst you get caught with some crime, you go to jail. The danger is not super high, right? The most danger to young men 18 to 25 is other young men murdering them. You know what I'm saying? Let's go there, okay? And so then you have, what are the danger consequences for young women 18 to 30 if they don't do what they need to do? Poverty, homelessness, and this country is dangerous to poor women. It's just dangerous. Being in relationships that are dangerous, having to go get with an old man because you ain't got your life together. You looking for a Nate. What's that movie that man say, Nate? Okay, I got to call Nate. Okay, so life gets dangerous physically for a lot of these women. Now, we just saw that influencer go to Africa with that white man, and he done offed her off and paid some of them African. That's why y'all can't get me with the Africa talk, because all it takes is $50 and the cops let you go. You got $50. There, every time I go on YouTube, there's some American over there and the cops digging their bag looking for some money. They get some money and tell them to get the hell on. I can stay in America and do that. I can go to the Philippines. I can go other places and get robbed for my money. I ain't got to go to parts of Africa to get robbed for my money. Okay. And so the danger factor is if you don't have some type of structure, these people wake up in their 30s and life is horrible. Life is financially horrible. Life is dangerous. Life is not good. Okay. Prime example. Let me show. This is a daycare owner. Again, I keep telling y'all, when y'all act like, oh, I don't know any women that own businesses, you're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. Every day, all of us growing up knew, okay? All of us knew there were opportunities, okay, to grow and do bigger things by what? By staying consistent, doing work, doing what you needed to do. Right? That just stays consistent. There's consistent opportunity. So when y'all act like y'all don't know who this daycare, you don't know any daycare owners, you don't know any food cooks, you don't know anybody that does stuff. That's not true. Okay, so let me go ahead and play this. Her and her daughter own these facilities. Again, this is structure. She can print and show vacations and trips and stuff. If you, I don't want to be like Erica's man bashing. I'm just telling y'all, it's called structure. It's called high functioning people, high agency. That's all. Let's go.
But ain't no point in complaining about it. Let's get to it. So I'm gonna come in, turn on all my lights. That's the first thing I do before any parent comes in. I have to do a walkthrough of the building. Every classroom needs to be situated, smelling good. The lights need to be on, and the environment needs to be prepped and ready for children. Now, this should be done at the end of the evening in terms of cleanliness and prep. But if that don't happen, this is where we do it at. But my staff know better, so it's done. And the morning begins. My first parent is at the door. Now I'm in the kitchen prepping for breakfast. Listen, y'all, this Kroger order almost took me out. Baby, I see why people quit mid-shift, because listen, all these bags, I almost fell over. The lady was laughing, I was crying, and baby, it was a morning. But the kids got to eat, so what we gonna do? Listen, y'all, let me tell you the highlight of my morning. Miss Tabria finally made it to work. I love her so much. So breakfast is ready. We're putting it out. Now, listen, guess who popped up? My secret weapon, my mama. And baby, when my mama walked in, I was relieved, because without her, this day would have been a whole different type of stressful. And since it's Monday, I had to get my staff some coffee, because they know when I'm on the floor, I don't play. So yeah, y'all gonna need this today. So now I'm in the office getting everything together. Lesson plans, behavior reports, attendance, because when I step in, structure doesn't stop. And honestly, this is why my end of the day reports that's in my systems bundle matter so much, because I was able to go back and look at those reports and know I had an interview today. I knew groceries were coming, and I knew new packets needed to go out. And if I didn't have that, I would have been running around trying to figure out my schedule. But because my systems are in place, my day was already mapped out for me. Now, this part right here, baby, I don't know how y'all do it, because sitting in that quiet classroom during nap time, I was fighting for my life. You can literally see me trying not to fall asleep. And technically, I should be sanitizing toys. But since I got everybody on shorter breaks today, my teacher will handle that when she gets back. So respectfully, I'm going to let her do her job. Now, let me be clear. My center does not depend on me to run. But as the owner, I am the final layer of leadership when needed. But here's what most of y'all don't realize. It can run without you, but it won't run well without the right structure. And if one person calling out shifts your entire day, you're still the system. So if you're missing systems, comment template. If you're ready to fix it with me, comment intensive. I'm going.
Like I told y'all, and I'm gonna keep telling y'all, on this internet, there will always be fucking money. Because people, they get up and they just like, I just feel like doing this today. I don't feel like doing it today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. If you have a system to sell people, they're ready to buy it. Why? Because there are ladies who know all these people who need childcare. All these white ladies doing Montessori schools and all this stuff, and they're making lots of money. And as you can see with the Somalians and the Armenians in California and the Jewish people in New Jersey, all multiple cities and states. I could go the Asians and the Koreans in H-Town. They're applying to government funding. They're not getting all this money just from parents. They're getting a combination of funding from the government. And if you can run your stuff like an actual business, not a girl, I'm at my house and I watch 4 kids, so my kid, I don't have to pay daycare. Not that ass. I'm talking about real systems. People will come work for you. Women will come work for you. Other people will be there at that office. But you have to run it like what? A system. And that's how, listen, there's so many countless daycare workers on this platform that cry all the time about how terrible the parents are. They ain't shit. And we all know it. The kid's 6 o'clock. They close at 5. They come to get their kid at 6. We know this stuff. Stop acting like this is, oh my gosh, Erica, y'all acting like y'all better than us. Yes, we are better than you, but that ain't the point of today. It don't take much to be consistent or be above. She's just cleaning, she's spraying, she's getting groceries delivered. I had a client who was a truck driver and he was saying how his wife is reckless with spending. I said, just take all the money. He's like, no, I can't do that. I said, you can. You're the man. You're making the money. She's staying home with kids. He would order the groceries on Instacart delivered to her. He would pay all the bills on auto draft. He started like actually doing the things, called me back 60 days later, said it was one of the best calls he did. He paid for the $1,000 call. I appreciate that. And he was saying it let them stop fighting about money. It let them stop stressing about little stuff because it was already on auto pay. It was already taken out the account. It was already paid for. The grocery delivered, she complained about sometime Instacart who delivered it. Yeah. But everything was done. Y'all make y'all lives stressed out as hell because you won't set up a schedule. Do I schedule all these concerts and events and stuff I want to do in the summer? Hell yeah. Do I go to all of them? No. it just life be life and sometimes. But in general, I'm above. You can be great if you just stay a little bit more consistent than other people. A lot of people are trying to win life on, look at how fat my ass is. Look how big my titties are. Look how good I look. There are men who are like, body game. You need to have the body game. Nigga, after 32, you need to have some money game. You need to go to work. You need to have a job. You need to have your life together. You need to buy some rental properties. Don't let these 22-year-olds who read a YouTube video get ahead of you. It's ridiculous. That's why people don't like immigrate and they don't like her in a lot of places. This is why this conversation, language of the poor versus language of the go-getters, is irritating to y'all because you've lounged yourself to death. Okay? Don't call me about no damn body game. Call me about your money game. Do you know how many people I've been on the phone with that paid me $1,000 phone call who had a stroke, a minor heart attack, a minor this, a minor that? And now they're trying to do a body game and a money game. All of a sudden at the last minute, baby, what? Now you got two hurdles. You're about to die and you need some money. This is a terrible combination. At least have something. Have some type of level to stitch your foot on, some type of foundation. Now you in Atlanta chasing all these women and none of them can come take you to the doctor. Not one of them is desperate. You can't be not Nate and busted up. Come on now. Erica, no, don't talk about people. You're being mean. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. I don't care. Let's play this clip. Let's play this clip.
$1 million and has co-founded or founded $4 billion worth of business. She is not talking to you when you make $50,000 a year. And that's not shade. That's just honesty. You have to understand that you are not the target audience for everything that happens in this universe. If it don't apply, let it fly. The people who that advice was for, they feel it in their chest, me being one of them. Emma Grede is not talking to you. That lady is worth $400 million and has co-founded or founded.
We're never her audience, and she knows that. That is not a bug in her strategy. That is the whole strategy. It's not controversial. Clarity about who you are not for is what makes people who you are for trust you completely, and that requires that you say the hard thing. I went to Wharton. I graduated from Northwestern. I worked at Google and YouTube, and all of my friends work in incredibly competitive fields, and none of them were up in arms about what Emma Grede has been talking about because they know that it's true because they live it. And the real magic is that they actually felt validated by it. And so Emma Grede's press tour is working because she's telling the truth about what it takes to genuinely run a massive business. And that's what makes her different. And it's what makes people like us, truly ambitious women, trust her because she knows who she's for and who she's not. So many of the smart, ambitious, high-achieving women that I work with personally, they're all so afraid to say something or anything that's going to offend people, particularly people they've worked with in corporate before. But nobody's interesting if they're just playing by the rules and saying the same things that everybody else said in a different font. Getting started with content today, or you're stuck, you need to decide who you're not for and fully go all in on who you are for. Don't be stupid. Emma Grede is not talking to you, and she never was, okay? Anybody who's offended by her work from home or her motherhood takes were never her audience, and she knows that. That is not a bug in her strategy. That is the whole strategy. It's not controversial. Clarity about who you are not for is what makes people who you are for trust you completely, and that requires that you say the hard thing. I went to Wharton. I graduated from Northwestern. I worked at Google and YouTube, and all of my friends work in incredibly competitive fields, and none of them were up in arms about what Emma Grede has been talking about because they know that it's true because they live it. And the real magic is that they actually felt validated by it. And so Emma Grede's press tour.
Okay. So listen, y'all know what's up. Y'all went on this kind of campaign on social media. And this is why I tell y'all it's different. It's very different. Social media 2020 was all about getting lots of views and getting and the pandemic and people watching you for hours and hours. And I've always been very clear. What was the name of the class I released during the pandemic? Like literally March of 2020. Rise of the 20%. I'm not talking to everybody. Erica, you talking about money all the time and hustle culture because 90% of y'all problems can be solved with some more money. The national average for child support, no matter how y'all try to fight me on this is data. You can go look it up. You can go look up the white pages, look up the National Human Health Services data, is $247. If you're in California, it's $475. Because I know somebody came and sent me an email with all this report. Read the damn report you sent me. It's $475 for California only. Okay, niggas have babies all over the United States. Okay, so the national average is $247. Why? Because the national average of what men make is $35,000 to $45,000. Well, Eric, I went on Bureau of Labor Statistics and said men make $1,000 a week. Yes, and said not black men make $900 a week. And it said Asian men make $3,400 a week. And it said white men make $1,200 a week. Look at your audience. Read the data. So on average, you're paying $247 because that you don't make much. 43% of all black people make $30K or less a year. You cannot come on this internet stunting on me. I know the data. 43% of you make 30K or less a year. So if I talk to you about Tech Tuesdays, if I talk to you about getting certifications, if I talk to you about studying, oh, I don't need that. Show me where you make 50, 60, 70, 80, $90,000 a year. Now, lucky for me, majority of my audience are high income people. Not all, but the emails we get are, I'm talking about during the pandemic, I got depressing emails. I'm a single mom. I don't make no money. I'd be like, sis, go to community college. Sis, go join the military. Sis, go drive a truck. Something. Don't come over here asking me for free content because you're a single mom. That's what community college is for. Go get that student loan debt if that's what you need. So you cannot come over here argue with me about what this Miss Emma said. Miss Emma's not even talking to you. You don't have all the same baby daddies. Miss Emma's not talking to you. Okay, you don't have a job that pays more than $45 an hour. Miss Emma's not talking to you. When I'm on here and y'all like, Erica, I'm a nurse, I work in the health field. Okay, be like the lady from Atlanta that be in the comments. She has 5 rental properties. Come on, man. This isn't for you. This content, like I was in a training the other day and this guy invited me. So, I'm giving him a critique because he's like, I really respect you. I'm like, cool, thank you so much. I'm going to watch it. This boy sat through and gave every single step you needed to do to run a remote business for a particular service business. And I said, this is great. I would love for you to talk to my audience at some time. Let's have a call next week or something, right? If y'all saw the comments in his Discord, half the young men in the Discord didn't even finish watching the video. This boy gave step by step by step what you need to do to make $100,000 a month in a very generic, boring service business. And half the young men, over 500 young men in Discord, it was like at least 100 comments of young men saying, what was blah, blah, blah. And the dude's like, it's in the video, man. Go back and watch the whole video. They don't even have the attention span to watch a free video that he is giving step by step. Here, call this number, do this step, lease a truck from here, do this part, hire from this website. They didn't even watch the whole video. I watched the whole video. Call my family was like, hey, we about need to go call over here. I found a little hookup, little thing we can do. I don't need to be over it. I'm gonna see if my cousin want to be over it and keep it moving. And we're gonna keep money moving in the family. You guys are fighting against high functioning families. Even if I don't always agree with my cousins and my siblings, we are a high functioning family, and I know it. Nah, not courier. You can DM me, Jasmine, and I'll tell you what it is. But anyway, so long story short, you have to realize these people won't even watch the video. And he giving it away for free. And this young man's 24 or 25. He's one of the two. And he started this at 18 because he really didn't want to be in high school. And his daddy's like, let me help you so you can continue. Like, I don't want you to drop out and be a bum. Let me help you. And that's the difference. His father could see what was happening. Do you know what I'm saying? His father could see what was happening to his son. He's bored with school. He don't want to be there. It's very hard if a young man doesn't want to play sports, doesn't want to play music, doesn't want to do anything at school. It's very hard, right? It's very hard to keep them moving and going. If you're my middleman, the Million School group, I'll put it over there because like 9,000 of y'all ask it. I think he has one of the videos up. It might be one I can share. I'll put it over there, okay? And so the reason I'm talking like this is because everybody's talking about this summer is going to be so hard. It's going to be a hard summer. And I'm listening. I'm like, okay, what's going to be hard about it? I had to literally listen to what people were saying. It's going to be hard because y'all know how y'all get in the summer. Y'all don't want to feed them kids. You don't want to cut their hair. You want to cry about the cost of things when you knew them kids was going to be home this summer. You already knew that. Woo! Let me play this part. Let me play this real quick. Here we go. I'm not promoting them. I don't think they're the greatest. I mean, anybody that's willing to put out content, salute to you. Do I think people that put out content are the smartest people in the room? Hell no. It's rare. I get in the room with people and I'll be like, damn, you slow. Damn, you a mouth breather. Close your mouth. But here we go.
ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini.
I've seen people in Virginia post their electricity bills, and we're talking $1,200. Now these data centers are coming to Louisiana. There's one coming in Mississippi, Memphis, and South Haven has got one that Grok is
New Orleans just blocked one in the east. Where they're being dropped in the south is no coincidence. We already know they're putting them in areas where poor people can't fight back.
I haven't looked at the numbers of the average income or the median income in Virginia. I don't know. So I won't speak on it because I don't know. But I have seen people post their electricity bills for $1,200. People in Jackson can barely afford $120 like water bill.
You're not getting to the question, Oshita.
So what happened? They can't pay $1,200 in an electricity bill.
I'm looking at my electricity bill. It's $1,200.
All right, let me go back again to what I just told y'all. 43% of Black people work in service industries where they make $30,000 a year or less. And that is according to the IRS. That is according to the taxes y'all are filing. That is according to many data. Ask Brandy, ask all these people that work in taxes, they can tell you. So these data centers are going places where what's going to happen. I'm going to tell y'all what's about to happen. If you're a Black person renting a house where these data centers are, this is what's going to happen. Your landlord's going to put solar on the roof. Let me go ahead and give you the word. Let me tell you, I'm in 2 trainings right now and next week. Your landlord and you in the hood, because right now in Atlanta, there's a bunch of white supremacists that own about 52 houses in this one neighborhood and 75 in this other neighborhood. They told people, hey, this white supremacist lawyer owns your property. He's racist. And the Black people there are so poor. They're like, oh, I don't know what to do about that. That's upsetting to me. All they could do was say that because they ain't moving. It's Atlanta. It's expensive. Stop playing with me. Get out of my face playing with me. Your landlord is about to put solar on your roof. Why does this matter to you? Your rent is going to go up. Let me lay it out to you one more time. If you live in a Black area where they just put the data center, let me tell you 2 things that's about to happen. You're going to start getting in your mailbox water filtration marketing. The second thing you're going to get is solar people knocking on your door. The third thing you get is people wanting you to buy your house. How do I know? I'm sitting in trainings with white people who this is their thought process. So what? So what is over there with them? Guess what we're going to do? We're going to put solar on the roofs for our rentals. We're going to give them some water filtration systems. So when they complain about the taste of the metallic taste of the water, because yes, some of these companies will filtrate that clean water back out, but it will not taste great. Okay. And then we're going to do A, B, and C. How do I know? I'm in the trainings right now. As a Black person, first thing I do is like, I'll flip this table over. How dare y'all plan to steal from poor Black people? I can't do that. I have to act like a normal adult when I'm in these trainings and be like, interesting. Yes. Okay. Yes. Interesting. Yes. Interesting. Yes. Interesting. I already know what's about to go down. The amigos, the Hispanics are already on solar. Their sons are already door knocking doing solar in Houston and Dallas and Austin right now. Because they know you're less likely to holler at amigo coming to your door talking to you than you are hollering at a white boy coming to your door talking to you. Or a Black person coming to your door talking to you. You might listen to the amigo. You might listen to Edgar knock on your door. Okay? So I'm already there. Okay? Now, why did I tell y'all this? I told y'all 3 years ago, solar's going to go crazy. How did I tell y'all? I told y'all multiple times through multiple videos. What did I tell you 2 years ago? Michael Dell's son raised $1 billion at 29 years old to have a solar company that makes a specific battery that goes to your house. How do I know all that? I read. If I could pull 100 Black children out of most schools and just make them read the news, and then us just do an assignment every Friday, how can we fight against this? How can we make money off this? Because really the truth is, how can you make money off of it? I know y'all think I'm heartless, but that's the truth. How can we make money off this? This is how. If I could just get 50 Black grannies to show up at every city council meeting and say, y'all raising my electricity bill, that shit would be on the news. If I could get 150 Black people every Tuesday, Thursday, and sometimes they do Wednesdays in the South, because they know you got church. They know you ain't going to show up to the city council meeting because Wednesday's church night. So you're going to be at church. You ain't even going to be at the city council meeting. And they ain't just doing this to Black people. They doing this to white people in Arizona. In Arizona, I posted a video on the wall where they got 7 data centers and the white people about to run out of water. And they're like, city council's like, we don't know how they're running out of water. I don't even know. It's confusing to me. And I'm telling you about water filtration systems. It's going to be one of the hottest companies you'll ever hear about in the next 2 years. It's going to be water filtration. When they're like, oh, we're going through the water wars, and you're like, I'm gonna collect water at my house, Erica, you're still gonna have to filtrate that damn water. When they sit here telling you it's gonna be one of the hardest summers ever, I'm sitting here telling you my family personally is growing 3 acres worth of food, so we can split it amongst ourselves. So not one person's gardening, not one person's watering, not one person doing something. It's a collective of us doing it. And each one of my aunties have big gardens in their backyard, including my own mama. Okay? So you sit here and play silly like, oh, baby, then I told you. How many times does the news have to tell you? They're softening you up for, hey, them gas might be high. Food might be expensive. If Trump have it his way, he gonna fill up all them tankers with the excess gas and oil we got. So less for you. Yeah, America gonna make some money because we gotta pay off some of our debt. Keep it off our neck. But y'all gonna be struggling. And y'all sitting here mad with Emma because she telling y'all she spent 3 hours on Saturday with her kids and then she gotta go. Let me be very clear. I come from a high functioning family. We'll do soccer. Some of our little kids in our family, they'll go do soccer. Some of our aunts will sit out there like, oh, you got it, baby. You go, baby. And then guess what? We all go do what we got to do for Saturday. Whether that's businesses, that's a restaurant, one of our cousins, we do what we got to do for the rest of the Saturday. We got family members that own hair salons. They're going to do what they got to do for the rest. They can't sit here and look at their children all day like, hey, little baby. And the child's 10 years old. No, the child got to get in where to fit in. But see, at least we have a plan. So the core memories of the child is, oh, my whole family rode up and watched me play soccer. My whole family rode up and saw me do this thing. My whole family donated to my graduation. My whole family did A, B, and C. This is the difference of high functioning families. They're not going to sit here and idly, I don't know what's for dinner every day. They don't do that. Growing up, I told you, both my parents were military. We were on a clock schedule for food. We had the same type of food every week. If it wasn't for my daddy being like, well, damn it, we're going to do pizza this Friday. My mom would be like, okay, I already took out all the chicken. I guess I'm still going to make it. I'm at least marinate it and save it for Saturday. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for my daddy sometimes being like, I don't want chicken. We're going to have pizza. Or my daddy going, we're going to have stromboli because we're down the street from the Italians. We would have ate the same food every day like clockwork. I can tell you right now, my eyes closed. The 5-6 meals our family did on rotation. Stir fry, spaghetti, liver, and onions. Because my daddy loved liver and my mom loved liver. Roast on Sunday. Baked chicken on Friday. And if I'm not mistaken, they used to really like in the wintertime, chicken and dumplings. Baby, I ate that so much. I could make those recipes blindfolded with Gordon Ramsay standing over my shoulder. I can make them right now with blindfolded, y'all. So when people are like, oh, my mom and dad didn't know what to cook for dinner. I don't know how you lived. Because we were on a schedule, baby. One time our parents had a military emergency. They both couldn't leave the base. They freaking out. They called my brother. My brother's like, I'm on it. Spaghetti. He doing extra stuff because he was a teenage boy. Putting ketchup and stuff and doing stupid stuff. Putting hot sauce and stuff because he was stupid. But it was like clockwork. They weren't there. Hey, you know what you're supposed to do. I remember 9/11 happened. Mom stuck on Fort Bragg. She called. She couldn't. The phones are dead. Phones are dead. If you were in Fayetteville, you were in North Carolina, you know what was going on. The phones were dead. We call it. Oh my God, the 9/11. Finally, our mom got through the phone. She said, let me tell you what you're going to do. You're going to get your ass up. And if I don't make it to the house at 7:45, you and your sister get in the car and y'all drive over to the aunt's farm and you do not leave the farm till I come and retrieve you. Maybe y'all don't have high functioning families. I know. I see the children run around the street at 9 o'clock at night. Nobody watching. Okay? My brother was doing the most. He was doing the most. He was having rebellious time. He was like, I'm putting hot sauce in it. Ha ha ha. You know, like, what are you doing? My brother sometimes would cook the chicken and be like, I put some mustard on it for a mustard sauce. Brother, that's not what our parents told you to do. You're doing too much now. Okay? My parents used to tell our brother to vacuum. He'd come over there and get us. Hey, mama wants you to vacuum the floor. Mama did not ask 7-year-old me to vacuum the floor. She told you to vacuum. Stop playing with me. Okay? So again, let me get back to the show. And if you're enjoying the commentary, you can go ahead and put a 1 in the comments. Again, I'm just trying to hit these few highlight videos and get on out of here. Because I've been on calls all day. And it's been a little crazy. Let's go here. If you buy a rehab house, let me be very clear with you. Your taxes are going to go up. Let's not be silly. Let's not be slow. Boom, here we go.
On my house while I'm actively living in it. And I have to talk about this. I have to talk about this because Baltimore has been sued for these predatory practices. Yeah. And the judge denied the claims that these practices for tax sales is predatory. And so I'm going to set the scene. I bought my house November 2024. It was a house that was rehabbed. So essentially they bought it for very cheap and then flipped it. They did okay with the flip. You know, I'm not going to, it's a beautiful home. And in that, the price of the home substantially increased, but the taxes were not reassessed until 2025. So originally in 2024, when I bought my home, the taxes had been assessed at $85,000 for the home by the real property assessment. And then it was reassessed in September of 2025, where the home value then increased to $245,000. I feel like I got the mail. I didn't understand what that meant. It didn't really explain anything. So I kind of was like, okay, cool. And I also received word from my mortgage company in November that my mortgage would increase this year because there was a shortfall and I would have to pay a little extra to cover the additional taxes that I had. So I was like, okay, perfect. My mortgage company will hold this, we'll fix this in escrow. I'll pay a little extra. Well, on April 7th, I just got a notice in the mail to say that if I do not pay $2,900 to the city of Baltimore by April 30th, my home will be included on a tax lien sale in May. So of course, I called the number. Also in this, I found out that I was not listed as the primary residence in my own home. How did that happen? No one knows. So I was informed to call the Homestead Tax Credit Office, which, by the way, I just found out today is only open. Their business hours are from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the only time I can call this office. I had to call this office 10 times before I was able to get anybody on the phone to find out why my homestead tax credit was denied. And because it was denied, I was not listed as my home being the primary residence. All of this sounds confusing. Yes, it does. I would also like to add, my first step was to call the Baltimore City real property tax collector, and they confirmed, yes, if I do not pay $3,000 by April 30th, my home will be sold to whoever will buy it during the tax sale. There's nothing I can do about it. And when I asked, well, when was I notified about this $3,000 tax bill? He said, well, our records show that we sent you a notice in November of 2025. Okay. So then I asked, was there any other notice? Was there any other follow-up before the mail that was dated on April 7th? No. He said maybe Maryland State would have sent you something, but I don't owe Maryland State. I owe Baltimore City. So, and you sent the initial notice. Why wouldn't you send a response or a follow-up? No, they don't do that. The other problem with not being listed as my primary residence is that I cannot apply for any tax deferral because I need to be the primary resident.
Okay, pause. I hate when people playing dumb in your face like you stupid. You're smart enough to buy a home. You own something somewhere else. Let's get to the people in the comments like, why can't you be primary? Listen, the reason she didn't follow up with this paperwork, the reason she ain't done this is her name is on a house somewhere else, y'all. Simple as that. Because when people come to Texas, the number of people think says, oh my God, Texas, taxes are high as hell. What I got to do? Hey, make sure this is your number one home and you list it as your primary home, and Texas will homestead exempt you. If you're elderly, Texas won't make you pay no taxes. I've met Black people in Texas who have $100,000 in back taxes. They ain't paid taxes in 7 years, but They were in a process of, I forgot to fill this form out. My kids were supposed to fill this form out. So Texas let them play for 7 years in Texas face on taxes. Please stop playing in our faces on the internet. If you're smart enough to sign the paper, read the paper, and get a house, okay, you want to blame the realtor. Dummy, if the house is a rehab house, the tax assessment will change once you buy the house and get an appraisal on the house. This is not a realtor issue. This is your mortgage broker issue. And I'm not going to sit there and play and call an office 10 times when I know I live in Baltimore and it's my housing. Do I want to be homeless? No. I will take the time off work and I will drive over to the office and I will make sure they don't let me lose my house. Now, if you're going to say, well, everybody can't take off work. Baby, if you're in a job and you can't take off work, you on the edge of survival and homelessness anyway. Let's really go there. Sorry. Erica, I'm a school teacher. I can't take off. Yes, you can. They do. They have subs. You can take off. I'm a police officer. Police officers don't work 12-hour shifts back to back to back unless there's an issue. They usually go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or they go maybe Friday, Saturday, and then they off Sunday, Monday. No matter the job, she could have taken off and go down there. I've been on the phone with people who, oh, I ain't paid my taxes. I didn't know. Ma'am, it's not their job to waste millions on paper notifying you 17 times about you paying this bill. And let's be really honest, I'm telling this from experience. I had a tax bill go to California, the previous owners of one of my properties. I had to show them a track record of, first of all, the website's incorrect. The data's incorrect. Y'all ain't sent me nothing. And the website ain't even updated. Oh my God, Ms. Williams, we're so sorry. I emailed all this because email is legal in court. Then I went up there in person, flew in. I need to speak to somebody. I need to be on record that I spoke to you. I came up here. Here's $500. Here's the process. Here's the start. Let's go. $500 cashier check from the bank with a note. Okay? Like, stop playing dumb. Many of these counties have set up laws for over 100 years now. The reason Kevin Trudeau was in jail is Kevin Trudeau told y'all to send them car companies and them mortgage companies $100 certified funds. And they couldn't foreclose on your house and they couldn't take your car. Why? Because it was in the small print. These cities and states been set up these taxes and loans and information so you could be protected. So you're not gonna come on the internet and play in my face for views. I already know. Everybody who's a real estate anything in her comments like, well, you should have did ABCFD. Why you didn't do ABCFD? Why are you telling us you did BC and you didn't do A? That doesn't make sense. Okay? So stop it. Cut it out. Knock it off. But that's what people are trying to play. They're trying to play like, oh yeah, you can't slide past the game. Stop it. Cut it out. Anyway, on them landlords, one more time on them landlords. I'm gonna just go here again. Language of the poor. Let's go.
They don't own property. They hate landlords. They can't wait for some sort of revolution to come and kill off all the rich people so they can take what's left. They call landlords leeches when they themselves are the leeches of society and can't even connect the dots that landlords are providers of a service and a good. The service is providing housing and the good is the housing itself. Instead of being grateful for their landlords because their bum ass doesn't own a home, they now want to minimize and make landlords sound so evil because it makes them feel better for not owning a home and never feeling like they can. And obviously with this sort of attitude, you'll never own a home because you don't even understand basic economic principles. Anything that you charge money for, anything the IRS makes you pay money for and have tax codes in is a job, my friend. So get with the program. Stop saying the language of the poor. This is a constant singing chant.
Okay. Let me go back because I saw your comment. My bad. I'm gonna read your comment because this is actually. Ooh, there you go. She also has to provide her updated driver's license to get homestead credit. Okay. Come on now. I'm not. Listen, I feel bad for her. She's an awesome financial influencer. Nope, we're not gonna let you do that. Let's do this. She doesn't even live in that house. It's a rental property. She used the DAP program and told them folks it was going to be a primary. Okay. I was trying not to say it because I'm not trying to have a beef with other ladies on the internet that y'all love, but that's not true. We know that this is a rental. Okay, I have no problem with y'all using different credits and different programs to get y'all some extra properties, but please don't come on the internet and play in our faces after you've gotten those properties. Okay. All right. I can't stand people like this. So trash realtor, she had no research. She didn't care. She schemed the system and got. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say she's scheming the system. I'm going to say she used one of the programs and now she's trying to come on the internet and play dumb for us. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go, as they say. She needs to go in person in the office. There are many offices located in Baltimore. She didn't read the paperwork and saying this is only happening to backs. This is happening to anybody who doesn't read their paperwork. Who prepared her loan? Exactly. Okay. My father cooked with variety. My mother was going to feed you salami, salmon croquettes, sloppy joes, meatloaf, and turkey pot pie or rump roast. The meatloaf was slamming. Like, listen, meatloaf with that red sauce on top. Hey. I'm actually, I'm with the family that they didn't put any sauce on top of their meatloaf. I said, what's wrong with y'all? What kind of people don't put sauce on top of the meatloaf? That's weird. I could go for chicken and dumplings right now. Listen, my mom would, if you give my mama and say, hey, you know, let's make something easy, she'll make chicken and dumplings right now. She don't care about that. Our whole family went to Myrtle Beach for the weekend to support my nephew's football conference game, but we also talked money on Sunday. I feel you. We have to cultivate healthy families. Yeah. You have to schedule this stuff. Our family has our beach trip. I told y'all about our beach trips, right? We have an aunt who is 70 years old. She schedules our beach trips. They're like 4 years out. That's why when I tell y'all, like, okay, I'm gonna be at the beach. And when I got into the family I'm with now, I had to get him on the schedule to like, baby, our family plans this stuff out 3-4 years. Now, if you don't want to go to all of them, that's fine, but you're gonna go to some of them because it's already on the schedule, baby. It's on the schedule. Okay. If you're working, everybody understands that, but 9 times out of 10, if it's on the schedule, they like, oh, where you at? At least once a quarter, come to the family events. Okay. U.S. Northern Virginia residents have seen a spike in energy on average $40 to $50 since 2021. I tried to warn people about data center energy cost transfers to consumers 3 years ago. Yeah, people playing real slow. Let me get out here. Come on, man. Listen, she's being scandalous. I have my rental properties in my business name. Baby. Woo, baby. You have to be smart. Exactly. It's definitely a rental. Okay. I know it, but I'm trying to let y'all come to your own critical thinking. Now, here's another thing I want to bring up. This right here, please stop.
This 25-year-old, the CEO of her Lean In organization. This 2023 grad has 0 experience running a nonprofit, 0 experience in finance, but none of that matters because now skills are more important than actual experience. Remember when you were first starting off in your career and you was told you couldn't get the job because you didn't have enough experience, you didn't work at the right companies? So you got your foot in the door, you worked your way up, and now you're being told you don't have the right skills. Let's get into that distinction. A former colleague of mine was able to get in the door at OpenAI because of their past experience. However, now what they're telling me is you can't get in the door with your past experience. You need to have skills in AI. And here's why this video is so important. Experience is objective. How long have you worked at a company? What is your title? But skills are inherently subjective. Oh, you're a sales rep for this product, but we're a different product, so you don't have the skills to work for us. Oh, you're a personal injury lawyer. Well, you don't have the skills to do workplace injury. Oh, you're a platform moderation executive, but you don't have experience with AI moderation, just social media moderation. This is the future of work in a traditional W-2 job, and I promise you, no Black people are going to benefit from this. No Black person is ever going to be told that their skills can make up for a lack of experience. Never. Sheryl Sandberg just...
Okay, now why did I show you this? Because you're like, Erica, no, you're talking about getting certifications. You're talking about doing this. I want y'all to understand what's happening. That whole let's get rid of DEI, that whole Google asking, can we take people who don't have degrees? And this was nepotism from the start. You're telling me Sheryl Sandberg, who's in her 60s, if I'm not mistaken, I can go look it up, and has years of working for Facebook, working for different companies, working for the best of the best, hired a 25-year-old to replace her? Knock it off. This is her being able to control and groom this person to do what she wants them to do anyway. But I just want you to understand, as a Black person, we have Black aunties who worked in government jobs and government official positions, and they're like, I work really hard. They passed me over for promotion because they never were going to promote you. And if they told you that outright, you'd be upset. This is why when people say work your 9 to 5, but what is your 5 to 9? This meant, what do you have working for you outside of this office? Because this office don't give a damn about you. And I've said that for years. I've told y'all repeatedly, if you're in these high income jobs as a Black person, what are you investing in? Because every white boy with a lick of hair on his head still, 25 years old, knows this company will let me go at any moment. What can I invest in on the outside of this? Now, I get it. In our community, we have a lot of financial trauma. We got struggles. We got terrible stories. We all know that. Yes, we do. We do know that. We got cousins we helping. We got mamas and daddies and people we helping. We're on decision fatigue. But I keep telling y'all, when you go in these offices, the national data says on average, you're going to be there 2 to 3 years. It's rare you're in these companies 10, 12, 15, 30 years. It usually is a smaller company, not a bigger company. Okay. I have a friend who worked at IBM. She's been there over 25 years. She's been there so long, when they split IBM, she got into the second department. Now she made $220,000. I think she's at $250,000 now. She's a rarity, but she just kept working, putting her head down. They send her on flights. She goes on the flights. They putting her in Chicago. They putting her in Houston. They putting her places. They making her fly all over the place. She just would go with it. But guess what? Every step away, she done bought a house, she done bought rentals, she done bought other stuff, because she just said, at some point, I'm gonna age out and I'm not gonna be able to get a different job. And I said, man, you better keep rocking with IBM till you can't rock no more. You better rock with IBM till you can't rock no more. Okay? Inspired by Matt Tuning. Listen, I tell people all the time, there's a lot of people. You mean Max Tuning or Matt Tuning? That might be a different guy. I just want y'all to understand, y'all gonna look up at these jobs and they're gonna have, just like you had with Doge, a bunch of 20-year-olds working in there because their father knows somebody and you don't know nobody. This is why when the guy said, if you're a Black guy, can you offer another Black person, their son coming out of college, $150,000 a year job? And most people are like, oh, I can get him a job at my company. No, we're not talking about, can you get him a job at your company? Can you offer them a job? Most of you cannot. This is why I keep bringing up the data and the numbers. The reason you have so many Black people talking about the key shit all day on the internet is because 43% of our community has service jobs and get paid under $30,000 a year. It's just that simple. That is why our community focuses on the stuff it focuses on. Because if I start talking to you about certifications and trying to get better jobs and getting a trade, well, you know, the white people ain't gonna hire me, and these people, like, I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear it. You ain't trying to hear it. Okay. Let me go on to the next. Because you don't got to believe it from me, you can believe it from other people that say it. This is an Indian person saying it. Okay, here we go.
I have been at a recruiting conference for the last 2 days, and if that reminded me of anything, it's that corporate America is cooked. The amount of conservatives, racists, bigots, Christians that are in HR, TA, recruiting is diabolically high. And the numbers are shifting to a certain extent, because like most of the people that I spoke to that I'm close to were people that are on the same side as me. But the amount of people that I overheard or spoke to that were closeted racist, closeted sexist, misogynistic, all of that was also like too high for my liking. What are you all doing in a people business? You shouldn't be here if you cannot keep your biases at home. That is why I was so surprised when I got the applause that I did when I was talking about DEI, because it needed to be said, and I made some people uncomfortable, and I am so proud of that. I have been at a recruiting conference for the last 2 days, and if that reminded me of anything, it's that corporate America is cooked. The amount of conservatives, racists, bigots, Christians that are in HR.
And here's what's funny. Oh my God, did you guys know? We know. Yeah, we know. We told y'all. We told y'all last time. Yeah, we've been telling y'all. This is a two-way war. Do I want more people to get themselves together? Of course. Organize, fix their foundation, invest. Yes, all those things. But do we have a certain amount of our community that's not listening to that? Yeah. Duh. We know that. It's true. My last company had the most people based in Utah, and they all know and hired each other. Come on, man. Listen, Utah is the highest number of people that y'all, if y'all go read them FTC papers, I keep sharing y'all, where people are going to federal jail, federal pit, feds, It's a lot of Mormon people. It's a lot of people out of Utah. I mean, there's a high number of people out of Utah scamming, doing crazy. But if you go on the internet, it's all black people. It's the violent blacks. If you read the actual FTC stuff, it is white Mormons going to jail. High numbers. Bernie Madoff stuff every day, twice on Sunday. Okay? Come on. That's what Zamsos Clutch. I didn't want to say it, but you have, so I'll read your comment. I didn't say this stuff. This is the comment. What she said is why remote work is needed for blacks, especially those who don't have a AAV accent, and why the powers that be are trying to get rid of it. Okay? And again, remote work will be for the best of the best. It'll be for the best of the best. So get your skills that you want so you can be best of the best. And that's why I talk about Middleman to Millions. I have your training tomorrow. I think it's at 2:00 for Middleman to Millions. If you're a Middleman to Millions school group, go on over there. That's where we'll have our training. We're going to go over government contracts and a lot of these different service businesses, but I can't keep telling you what's going on. Disagree, remote work's horrible for most people. Not all people, but agree. What are we talking about on this channel? We're talking about highly disciplined people. If you're not highly disciplined people, right, you don't want to do remote work because you won't be able to complete the work in time. It'll mess up your home life and your home schedule. People that can do the work from 10 to 2 and be done with it and the rest of the day is just follow up, they deserve remote work. If you need to be in an office for somebody to babysit you and give you a check sheet list, you need to go into a field where you can go into an office and have a check sheet. Let's be very clear. I've said that multiple times. There are checklist people, and there's nothing wrong with them. The remote business I want to have, which just means I just won't be that. I won't be in there all the time. I'll have a head honcho in there, but I won't be in there like that. It's a checklist business, and the guys that you hire are checklist people. They're not self-starters. You have to tell them what they're doing every day. You have to give them, okay, I'm looking on the sheet. Y'all didn't make it back with the truck in time. What happened? Oh man, we did blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I don't want to hear it. Tell your supervisor, tell your shift leader. And then the shift leader tells the manager, y'all can work that out amongst yourselves. I don't need to be informed that they can't figure out the checklist every day. That'll drive me crazy. So remote work isn't great for everybody, right? And if you want to go to work to make friends, because you don't need to go into the building to have network and connections. You can actually go to a lot of events and conferences that career path holds and make lots of friends and make lots of connections, okay? But a lot of people that if you can do it, do it. She's biased though. If she was in charge, only hire people like her. Exactly. Everybody cries about when stuff is oppressing them until they get into the position of power. Right? Once they get in that position, then all of a sudden, I remember someone saying, yeah, black men, this black. And I said, well, I hired more black men than you are. Well, that don't matter, Erica. It does. Who can hire is what matters. Who can hire is what matters. What you're talking about doesn't matter. I thrived during COVID remote work. Got so much work done in my department. I was helping people from other departments get their work done. And there are several people making jokes online how they had 3 and 4 jobs. Let me play this. Let me play this right here. And it's going to offend y'all. I don't care. But you can tell me it's offensive. I'm okay with that.
Bastard ass kids. The white man is not forcing you to do none of it. You are willingly participating in this mess of a life. So don't sit in my face and try to tell me what the white man is doing to you. They did it to them. We the product of what they did to them. Now it's up to us to change the way we think, change the way that we eat, change the way that we do things, change the places that we go to, change the people that we're procreating with, change. But no, y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all want to hear some shit that's toxic. That's what y'all want to hear. Man, the white men don't have to do anything to suppress black people, sweetheart. Black people are doing it all by themselves. Y'all love to try to blame the white man for everything. Let me just tell you, the white man ain't forcing you to go to the liquor store every weekend. The white man not forcing you to go to the club every weekend. The white man not forcing you to drink lean. He not forcing you to pop Percocets. He's not forcing you to have all these illegitimate bastard ass kids. The white man is not forcing you to do none of it. You are willingly participating in this mess of
this poor beautiful girl is just so loud, so wrong. I know y'all hate hearing responsibility politics. Immediately when I see her, the hair, the nails, the outfit, baby, you are the example of what you're talking about. Put on some real clothes. Put on some nice clothes. Body suits and cat suits ain't it. I can start there, okay? The nails, the hair, the whole thing. And people in there, yeah, girl. You got the white racist MAGAs in there. You got the Latino races in there. Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Just like, listen, here's the second part of that. Systematic. If your mom gave you a goofy ass name, but didn't send you to trade school, but didn't send you to the library, but didn't send you to get the skills that people can't stop you from making your money, then yes, it's twofold. We can walk and chew gum at the same time, can't we? We can do that, y'all. We can, two things can be true at one time. I personally, as a person who made high income, had one mortgage broker company try not to give me a loan for a mortgage. I went to the next company and said, honey, you need to go contact a lawyer and sue that last company. If I was a non-motivated, low-functioning person, I wouldn't have continued and asked another company, can y'all check my information? They told me I didn't qualify. That man, this Hispanic man, looked me dead in my eyeballs on Zoom and said, baby, I think you need to call a lawyer and sue them. That was what they just did to you, was discrimination. They just held that deal up for 125 days. You need to call a lawyer and sue. That's why I want y'all to understand it can be both. As a person who's been a high income person for years, I've gone into banks. Something didn't sound right. I go to another bank. The other banker like, baby, if I was you, I'd sue. White people hey, that, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd sue. Because what they just did was illegal. One time Chase Bank tried to play me. The state of Texas paid me a lawsuit money. I ain't trying to tell all my business, but I'm just saying, state of Texas paid me some lawsuit money. I go to Chase Bank to cash my check. Chase Bank didn't want to cash the check. I said, are you sure, ma'am? Yeah, I can't. You have to have an account. You have to do this. I said, really? I said, hold on, I'm gonna leave. I called a 1-800 number. I said, ma'am, I was massively discriminated at Chase Bank. Let me tell you how 5 different Chase vice president employees of all the regional banks of Chase Bank called me that day on the same damn day. Hey, this is Chase Bank at Round Rock location. This is Chase Bank at William Cannon location. Hey, this is Chase Bank. We want to see what's going on, man. We heard this. Our bank does not do discrimination. We watch the cameras. Think of how fast that was that those banks called me. It was an alert. A Batman signal went out when I said I was discriminated over the recorded line. It wasn't a 24-hour, it wasn't 48 hours. It was that day. 5 different branches called and say, oh, we want to make sure we need to review what happened. Hold on, let me go look. Bring your check here right this minute. We'll come through. We'll do what we got to do. We don't condone that, ma'am. If you feel you were discriminated against, we just want to make sure we talked with you. Now, I ended up talking to a lawyer, and the lawyer said, yeah, they were trying to make sure all these different branches in this region contacted you. So just in case you went to another branch and it happened again, Chase could cover their own ass. They didn't call you because they cared about your business. They called so every branch could cover his ass. So Chase could go, if Chase had to go to court and say, no, she spoke with this person and this person and this person. See, that's what I want y'all to say. When you're not paying attention, if you're not high functioning, if you're not on a schedule, these people will run right over your ass. You are in economic warfare. David Williams does a great job explaining it for y'all over there on his channel. You're in it. You're in it. Whether you want to acknowledge you're in it or not, that's on you. If you want to be in denial and be like a tourist and I want to go play in Thailand and Colombia and chase big booty bitches in Brazil, you're free to do that in America. Because only in this country will we let you be a damn slug. Because it serves the master plan. No one's bigger than the program. Now, can you irritate the program? Can you stick your foot in the program's ass and be like, man, go give her something so she shut up? Yes. All the time. I used to go on Twitter and talk about Frost Bank, and Frost Bank vice presidents would call me like, Miss Williams, could you please come by the office? We will do whatever it takes. Because they didn't want it to be on Twitter and catch on fire. Okay? I don't use Twitter no more, but I'm just telling y'all, I remember being on Twitter talking about Frost Bank and another bank, and they were like, damn, let me get somebody on the phone right now. They were DMing me, please call us. Let's get you on a recorded line. So we say we gave you some service, okay? So again, these banks ain't stupid. What ends up happening is most black people are like, see, it's because of us. If you think the default answer is black people dress better, do better in legal situations, 9 times out of 10, I can't rock with you because it's not just that. It's not just that. Can I ask the sister to cover herself up? Yes. Can I ask her to cut the nails, the whole long, goofy nails, long eyelash stuff? Yes, all that shit's goofy. But it only hurts them financially when they work in what? Healthcare services. The nurses can be fired for that. You know what I'm saying? Certain departments can say, no, you can't work here. The military can go, that's not your natural hair color. And then you have to point out, well, baby, there's natural redheaded blacks. You know what I mean? There's all kind of ways you can fight legally, but you guys have to be smart. A lot of you goofy Gen Zers are all online arguing with the military in your uniform in the video. What are you doing? Look at how the white boys play the game and how you're playing it. The white boys are on the game, you know, shooting their guns, running, doing stuff, showing themselves, saluting the military. That's how they're making their money. You on YouTube complaining about the military in your uniform doing goofy shit. That's goofy. You're doing it backwards. Okay? You're doing it backwards. Let me read some of these comments, and I'm going to get off her video because I know y'all think I'm being a hater, but whatever. I live in one of the most blaggedy black locations, but most of the discrimination I face came from blacks, mainly not from being a ghetto black and a light-skinned male. See, what it was, Xanatos Clutches, you didn't have those eyes. You needed the green eyes. You needed the combo package so you can, flutter them eyes at people. That's what it was. Did you have an S curl in your hair, Xanatos Clutch? You got to have the S curl. If you didn't have the S curl with the light skin and the green eyes combo package, El DeBarge package, life can be rough. You know what I'm saying? They want the combo package. She should have ended that video with hit the cash app. That's what she wanted to do. She just didn't do it. Hit the cash app. But the nails and the cat suit, I'm telling you, anytime I see black women that are young and fit, I'm like, girl, you could put on a tennis skirt. You could put on a golf outfit. Men will still hit on you, baby, because it looks great. It looks amazing. She's hitting the bullseye, but is she just speaking from experience? That might be her. Yeah. Her mindset's in the right place. She needs guidance. She does. She does need a little bit of guidance. She's close. She's close, but two things can be true at the same time. Not offended one bit. Oh, listen, the way we dress, and if we dress like we dress, them cat suits in the 1920s, if your grandma would have walked down the street, they'd have hit her with a rock. The women of the community would have hit her in the head. Okay, come on, knock it off. Been remote for years, but when my team was essentially left leaderless, you could see the shift in productivity in our team. Ooh, I see what you're saying. That's unfortunate. Some people don't want to use the resources. Yep. Okay, let me go on to this one. Here we go.
It's about to get worse. We are facing a serious looming food crisis. If you don't believe me or think I'm being dramatic, I invite you to do something no one on social media ever does. Leave this platform right now and go to any search engine you like and type in this prompt. Is the world facing a looming food crisis? And then scroll and read for hours. I'll share the abbreviated version here right now. Climate change, unpredictable weather in the form of drought, flooding, powerful storms, increase in pest pressure, degraded soil, failing farms are all colliding into the potential collapse of the food system as we know it. And now the conflict in Iran is accelerating an already volatile situation. This is not a few radical newspapers or homesteading blogs reporting on this. This is every major news source: universities, economists, international news, consulting groups, investment strategies, policymakers, governments, the United Nations, and agriculture reporting. How will it unfold? It's hard to give you a specific timeline, but I believe it will look something like this. First, a continuing increase in the price of food, with price spikes in particular categories growing more common. 1 month, citrus will be sky high due to an unexpected frost in subtropical orchards. Another month, there could be a price spike on lettuce due to intense heat. Expect beef and coffee to steadily increase with sudden jumps based on a decrease in supply and global droughts. Chocolate as well. We're already seeing companies like Mars and Nestle reconfigure product recipes with filler to reduce cost. Then at some point, I expect we will see food shocks. This will be a sudden global shortage where we simply can't get our hands on a particular food at all. Coffee and chocolate are already very vulnerable to this kind of shock, but other foods will follow. It will be a big topic of discussion as we show up to supermarkets and ask, when will you have olives again, or bananas, or avocados? And the store manager says, we really don't know. The third phase is wider lack of availability, empty shelves combined with high prices. Shortages of commodity crops will have countries competing to get their hands on the ingredients that make up most of our diet: wheat, rice, corn, sugar, and more. Asking what is available will become commonplace. Food insecurity will not just impact the poor, but also broadly the middle class. The restaurant industry is already struggling, as these issues will lead to more closures. We will see a massive resurgence of home gardening, keeping chickens and other small farm animals. People may hoard food. The conflict in Iran, which now involves 12 countries, has caused the cost of oil and fertilizer to spike, which will bump the price of many categories of food this summer and into fall. Don't despair just yet. Let me get through this 5-part series where I'm addressing the most commonly asked questions. The situation is more serious than I have expressed before in my videos, but we can't fix something.
Okay, she's going to go over in her next video, but we're not going to do that today. Why can't we grow all our food here in the United States? Why is it important for our farms now, and what has already been done? Let me be very clear. I don't want to scare you, but I want to be very clear. Sugar, rice, and corn are, now corn is mostly Midwest, but let's just go here. Sugar and rice. Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi. We have an abundance. Just the amount of rice comes out of Texas. One year, the rice in Texas tested high for arsenic, and they made them throw all the crop out. Guess what they did? They called Mississippi and Alabama and got more rice. They called South Carolina and got more rice, y'all. HEB went and got all this South Carolina rice. Please, let's not play this game of, oh my God, there's a food shortage. There is not. America is a breadbasket. We sell overwhelmingly all our food out of America. Do not let them fool you with this. The only food that we don't sell out of America is the beef. Now, there are some foods other countries won't take from America because of the chemicals we spray on our foods, which is mainly our wheat. They will not take it. But when it comes to rice, the Indians, the Native Americans in Minnesota are growing rice. And Wisconsin are growing rice, okay? They have a wild rice variety that the Native Americans are growing. The Nation of Islam grows massive amounts of beans all through Alabama and Mississippi. They put their people to work in Alabama and Mississippi. The Nation of Islam, that is, yes, you think a Nation of Islam? Are you talking about Farrakhan? Yes, Farrakhan, Nation of Islam. Please don't let these people play in your face that we have a food shortage. But if you're not paying attention, you'll believe this. I have already bought literally 1/4 a cow, and we will buy multiple parts of that from a farmer in Louisiana. We're already buying grits and rice from farmers in South Carolina. Direct. We buy our seafood from Black fishermen in South Carolina. Direct. We go to Hilton Head and Edisto Islands and get food and fish from Black fishermen. Yes, we support direct. This is why I tell y'all, the wealthy people are they're not even thinking about this. There are people in Charleston, South Carolina. I talked to one of the Black fishermen out in South Carolina. We get food for him. He has contracts with wealthy white families where he'll fill up the truck. He'll fill up a box truck. It ain't a big truck, but it's a box truck. And all of that stuff goes to 2 or 3 wealthy white families, and they put it, some of it in their stores, but a lot of it into their homes. So again, where are you at on the line of production? Okay, where are you at on the line of production? You know, when we talk about farming, y'all like, that's boring. You know how many Black people online yell about North Carolina boring, South Carolina boring. That's that Pooh Shiesty in them. They never lived somewhere quiet and nice, and you had to sit down with a piece of paper and go, okay, I'm gonna go to these music concerts, and I'm gonna go to this event, and I'm gonna schedule out my activities. They want to live in New York and have random niggas just walk up to them all day. They love that. They love unpredictable living. They want to live in Philly and get hit in the head with a bottle. They want to walk around New Jersey and smell trash all day. They want to be in that. These will be the first people harmed, okay? This is who will have the hardest summer first, because they're not even thinking about summer. They're thinking about, let me go down the street and get the chicken wings and fried rice. And then next week, when they don't have no money, they wait on their check. They're like, I don't have no food in my house. What? What happened? So again, Emma Green and some of these people are doing a very clear talking points. What are the talking points that are happening right now? They're trying to create their own cults, because this is what Emma Green's going to be. Emma Green's problem. Emma Green is worth $400 million, but she cannot get into some parts of British society. Why? She's from a single parent white mama who African daddy left her with 4 children on poverty, on assistance. She will never get into those places. Emma Green can come to America, ball out in America, and almost damn near meet the president if she wants to. That is the beauty of America. We're not in a monarchy. We don't have a king, okay? There is levels to this place, this country, of course, but she can go up in those rooms and she can create her own group of people. That's what most of you are going to do. You're not going to break into the establishment elite. Emma's kids might, because they'll be going to those particular places, those schools, those events, those places, but you're not. Look at all the people threw a tizzy and a titty when Angela Bassett and her, her husband, their daughter that they adopted, some daughter they adopted, their daughter got to a cotillion in Europe. People are like, well, how they get into that? Why is she over there? Because they're rich and they're movie stars and their children are going to school with kids you'll never go to school with. They're going to be at a different level. You're not in that echelon. You're just not. So the argument that we're having is a lower brow argument. Unless you're talking to me about owning businesses, acquiring stuff. Look at all the tech bros. All the tech bros are doing right now is sliding into the place of like, hey man, we're going to fire some of these tech bros. No problem. We're going to buy businesses and now you still have to deal with us. Because we're not going to go away because you gave me a lot of money for 5 years in tech and then you don't want to give it to me no more. I'm even going to play these two clips right here for y'all so y'all can understand what they get ready to do to these live white boys. This is SMU, who literally got smacked in the 80s and 90s because they were giving kids money before everybody else was. Same as Nick Saban. That's why Nick Saban's in front of it, because Nick Saban don't want to be behind any lawsuits, even though he was a part of that.
States don't get to have their own way. Because if the states all race to one side, right, then it becomes a race to see how aggressive they can be. So I think that's sort of first and foremost. There's a lot of debate, and this depends on the party you talk to. There's a lot of debate around, should we prohibit student athletes from being employees? And that's a different issue in the South than in the pro-union states, right? But that would be in a lot of people's wish list, but that has controversy to it. There's some technical things around kind of liability protection that I think that people would like to see on the table. And then the one that probably back to where you started, that's probably the most ambitious is there scope for a limited antitrust exemption so that we can start to have different rules again? You think about things like the portal or graduation, like how old can you be and still play college sports? Those are questions that require some rules, but if any rule is seen as infringing competition and is going to be the target of a lawsuit, then we're kind of stuck.
So what's happening? Duke, SMU, the best of the best Ivy Leagues are like, we paid those black people $4 and $5 million. They better be glad. That's life-changing money. It's life-changing money if you have a smart mom and daddy who are self-regulated and calm and grew up with money and know that, yes, $5 million is life-changing money. If you have it at 20% returns, you can get $1 million a year off that money. But you're talking about people that you're scooping up from areas who are like, yeah, Duke, I'm here, but I want my sister to be here. I want my cousin to be here. Duke don't want that. That's why Duke lost that quarterback. But at the end of the day, these Ivy League schools are the same schools that are turning around asking the government to put some protection in because they really don't want to pay you black people a lot of money. They're going to get these black boys under control. Y'all going to stop hopping from school to school to school. Texas girls have lost people to like $400,000. And I'm like, Texas, we got enough money. Pay that girl an extra $400,000 and keep it moving. Every girls sport won everything in SEC last year. Pay them girls some money and keep it moving. Okay? But this is, if you don't know, if you're not paying attention, you think it's about to be a ball. It's not. Here we go. One more time for food. And then I'm going to show one last one. I'm going to get on out of here because we've been here a long time. I apologize.
It's happened because of private equity and BlackRock and just natural consolidation over time has taken optionality off the table for most producers. You used to have hundreds of seed companies that you could buy seed from. Now you have a few. You used to have hundreds of grain buyers. Now you have a couple. You used to have hundreds of equipment companies. Now you have a couple. And so
is it an antitrust question?
You know, right now the Trump administration is investigating the meat packing. We have 4 meat packers. 2 of them are actually owned by Brazilian companies. They're not even U.S. companies. And so you're relegated to selling to just a few people. And farmers and ranchers are not price makers. They're price takers. You know, you take it or leave it. It's not like you can go shelve your cow for another year or go put your crop up and just wait till you can sell it at a better time. And so they're relegated to just take whatever price is offered to them. So when I sit with President Trump, I want to have a conversation with him to look at how we feed ourselves in America through the same lens that he looks at NVIDIA chips and the national security issue that he sees having one plant next to China and says, we've got to bring that back to America. But he's doing that across all of the spectrum of manufacturing because we lost all of that in the 70s and 80s with the most favored nation with China.
And Nate, we've increased imports during this period of time.
We're
Imports
more
of
reliant
food.
upon our adversaries to feed us than ever before.
But then why is President Trump turning around and trying, especially on the Argentinian beef, trying to increase the imports of Argentinian beef?
Because he's trying to temporarily lower the price pressures for consumers. That's an easy short-term fix. There's issues with Argentinian beef versus Australian beef because of hoof and mouth and things like that. But the point is, he is trying to get beef in. We've got the New World screwworm, which is a fly that lays an egg and the larva burrows in, screws into a living host and eats the living flesh. So we have shut the border of Mexico because it's south of us. And because of that, we're not importing cattle into America. So we've got the lowest cattle herd in 70 years. We've got the highest beef prices ever, and we can't have enough throughput.
And we've gone up beef prices 30% in the last
I think
9 months.
it's $8 right now, and they're predicting it'll be $10 for ground beef. And so, there's always short, medium, long term, and that goal with Argentine is just trying to do a short term.
Okay, I keep telling y'all stuff that has low viewers. Y'all might want to watch it. This is Intersection the podcast. I keep telling y'all about this. I know y'all probably like, okay, what are you bringing this up for? This guy's only talking to CEOs and former CEOs and former really high up business people, and how they're having to pivot because young people are changing the way things are going, and how this man built. You don't even know who this man is. He built 2.5 billion in golf, right? This one, and then I have where's that? Okay, I see it. I have one more link, and once I show this last one, we're out of here. Yeah, I'm sure this is our last one.
I felt like if I didn't take that leap of faith, that I would regret it for the rest of my life. And believe me, I mean, I played those games inside my own head about, once you wait, and we'll take this company public, have a liquidity event, then go do it. But I knew that opportunity truly only existed at that moment.
Because of the debt coming up, and you had a window.
Right. And and so for me, I reached out to really the 5 brightest investors I knew. And I went to LA, I went to New York, I went to Aspen. I met with a variety of people. And really it was to poke holes in my thesis. And to my surprise, every one of them said, not only do I think you should do it, we'd be interested in doing it with you.
And Fortress ended up.
And Fortress was one of those partners. And so that's kind of where the Odyssey began. We had a meeting in New York and grabbed dinner at Milo's afterwards. And I got on an airplane back and had to figure out partnership agreements and corporate overhead. But then at that point, began to look at some transactions.
Yeah, take us to the first 12 months. What did those look like?
The first 12 months, immediately afterwards, began negotiating the partnership agreement. And then, and as I was doing that, I was sourcing deals. And there was a large transaction, CNL at the time.
That was a $320 million that was really the bump.
Yeah, it was absolutely a huge opportunity. And so I literally was, throwing down the American Express card and, not charting the planes you guys fly on. They were twin engine planes. And, and I was flying around the country and negotiating a partnership agreement, and, had the good sense to hire a great guy, Andy Crossan, that had worked in sourcing for a couple of public companies, and then began to sort of build a team that are with me today and have been a key catalyst of that growth. But it was it was one of those situations where in 38 days, I looked at 48 assets and literally was negotiating the contract at the same time. I've never experienced anything that crazy in my life.
Okay, again, he made 2.5 billion. You don't know who he is. You're probably like, who is this, Erica? Just enjoy the podcast. All right, here you go. We play this, and this is just so y'all understand, like, everything in American history. Why do things happen? Corporate lobbying, racism, or both. And you're in economic warfare, whether you want to recognize it or not. Asians are seeing it, like, dang, we got on the game and we did this stuff, and now y'all taking away our stuff too. Yeah, welcome, Asians. Welcome.
wasn't okay to just kick Black Americans out of their homes for no reason. But once building highways became a national priority in the 1950s, city planners got the perfect excuse. They could just say, hey guys, really sorry, I know you're living here, but we need to build this highway right through your neighborhood actually. I know you guys are an all-Black neighborhood, I know, really weird coincidence. Every city planner across the country keeps doing this for some reason. But yeah, you guys gotta go. I mean, these highways are important for national security, the future, stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, some of this was just cold-hearted economics rather than racism, since city planners had to compensate victims for destroying their homes. And it was just cheaper to compensate poor Black Americans than it was to compensate wealthier white Americans. And working-class white American neighborhoods did also get demolished. But some of the most powerful city planners did later outright admit that they just wanted to kick out Black Americans, including this guy who consulted on 550 American cities. And this guy, the single most influential urban planner in American history, who was also the most racist human being I had ever really encountered according to his employees, and who intentionally built bridges low to block buses carrying Black kids. As one lawyer summarized it, the government was running white men's roads through Black men's homes. Well, fast forward a decade or so, and the civil rights movement advances massively. People are outraged at racial injustice. Segregation ends, and redlining ends. This makes it easier for neighborhoods to mix, and harder to just tear apart an all-Black neighborhood in particular. But not everybody likes desegregation. Some residents want their neighborhoods to stay white. And a mayor in Alabama promises to explore all possible routes to aid white property owners in the preservation of the character of their neighborhood. Well, the problem is that they need an excuse to keep their neighborhood white. And highways were again the perfect excuse. The mayor and Alabama state officials built a highway as a buffer right in between the existing white and Black neighborhoods. It wasn't segregation, it was just a random highway. Just a random giant physical structure that just so happened to help keep the communities living on either side of it segregated. Why don't highways just go around cities in America? Why do they run straight through?
Let me tell you, right now, Austin, Texas suffers because of our highway going right through where they kept the Black people on east of I-35 and the white people on the other side. Most cities, this was the downfall of their city. These highways, they'd keep expanding them, and then they realized it really didn't benefit either side to have the highway not go around the city. It killed businesses for both. It created suburban white flight for everybody. Okay. Now, why am I bringing this up? Why does this matter? Because a lot of y'all will sit here and say, well, Black people just listen. Everything in your history, if you sit down and read a book for 2 minutes, you will see they set up a lot of this stuff this way. And if you if you understand, you would fight. Why am I making this video so long today? Next week I will be on like 3 different job sites. I'm not gonna be able to do videos. I ain't gonna front, but I just know what I have to break this content up. I know what I have to do. So, again, I'm teaching this because I know as I'm leaving out the door, some of y'all lives could really change in 90 days if you really applied some of this stuff. Not everybody's gonna do it, and that's okay. It's a 20%, 80% thing. If you're my Middleman to Millions school group, make sure y'all put in there. Don't forget to post the video in the comments so I can put a post up there so I can remember when I leave here, because the AI doesn't record everything and my VA might not remember. But if you're in New York, this I'm gonna share 2 New York videos, and then I'm trying to finish. I'm gonna get out of here. These last 2 New York videos.
His home in Queens, and he's far from the only one.
Oh no! Do it again. I'm talking about title lock and deed lock. It's going to be in my affiliate links and stuff.
This man says someone forged paperwork to steal the deed to his home in Queens, and he's far from the only one.
I was shocked. How could this be possible? Because only their owner are supposed to sell the house.
Our CBS News New York investigation found complaints about deed theft to the New York Attorney General have tripled, a 240% increase from 149 in 2023 to 517 last year. The AG's office has said that spike is due in part to growing awareness about where and how to complain, but also due to an increase in scams.
Particularly scams such as deed theft.
So we dug into why this is happening and what's being done about it. You can see our investigation at cbsnewyork.com. This man says someone forged paperwork to steal the deed to his home in Queens, and he's far from the only one.
I was shocked. How could this be possible? Because only their owner are supposed to sell the house.
Our CBS News New York investigation found complaints.
New York City. This is about New York City. She does a great breakdown, but again, it's a prime example of why people don't realize just the way people move around this country.
Transplant. What is your ideal vision?
For you to stay in Massachusetts, for you to stay in Ohio, because y'all been tagging me in this video because you wanted my take, and here's my take. Unless you're a great migration Negro like my people or a Puerto Rican, New York City is not for Americans. It's for immigrants. Hello. This is the melting pot of the world. Why do they call it the melting pot? It's not because you came from Ohio. It's because post-World War II, the Ashkenazi Jews came. It's because the Irish came post-potato famine. I don't know why the Italians are here, but they contributing too, right? It's for the Colombians, the Ecuadorians, the Dominicans, all of South America. It's for the Chinese, the Koreans, all of Asia. I see you Asian, but like you opened up a store, you bringing us something, what you got to give? Like what's going on? The Egyptians, the Nigerians, all of Africa, boo-boo. Those Russians down in South Brooklyn, like they're a little crazy, but they outside, right? They create immigrant enclaves, and that contributes to the culture of the city. We'll take a little weird kid from middle America that's really creative, that could do something, somebody who's queer and thinks outside the box. We'll take that because it contributes to the culture. But if you're just rich and you pricing this out because you want to live in the episode of Girls, this city ain't for you, boo-boo. It's the introduction to the United States. So you stay here a generation or so and keep it going, and then you move on to the rest of the country because you made it. That's what it's for. Get back to the origins of the city. This ain't Sex in the City. You ain't Carrie Bradshaw, honey.
For the people who hate New York City transplants, what is your ideal vision?
For you to stay in Massachusetts.
Listen, I want to tell you something. The Italians, they heavy in the comment section. The Italians did dig the subway. Let me be very clear. 80% of all the United States was built by African Americans. What do you call them? ADOS, American descendants of slavery. It was us. The gas mask, the lights, the everything, the AC, it was us. But the Midwest, and when I mean the Midwest, I clearly mean Ohio. I clearly mean parts of Chicago. When I talk about New York City, a lot of the Native Americans helped build that. And California are the significant states where the Germans built the railroads in the Midwest. In California, the Asians did the 20% because we had finished the Civil War. And so, the slaves were free. Okay, they didn't have to build no more highway unless you was paying them. Okay. And so that highway connecting to California came from the Asians doing what they want to do. But once the Asians were done doing what they do, they said, nah, the Asians can't even bring women over here. That's why if you look up several Black people in certain parts of the United States, they actually have Asian blood in their bloodline because some Asian men was getting with who they get with. Okay. Now, number two, the Italians dug the subway and a lot of them died because New York is basically a swamp. It's a fancy swamp. But if you actually read on New York, it's a swamp. It's a swamp. Okay. Nobody wants to talk about that, but it's a swamp. And so there's a lot of water underneath them subways. And so they used the Italians to dig the subway. A lot of Italians died. You have 5 million Italians come to New York City. You can look up the data. I think it's a total of 13 million Italians left Italy at the time. 5 million hit New York. A certain amount hit Canada. A certain amount hit South America. It's crazy. But the Italians were they were hungry too. They had a famine too. Okay. So look that up on your own free time. Enjoy that. That's why they be talking about how dark they were. Because they were like, man, y'all real dark to come from Eastern Europe. New York is a place of immigrants. But you can be a Black person and say, well, they're pushing us out. Deed lock, title lock. New York is for the sharpest of the sharp of the sharpest of the sharp. And you're not going to do New York by yourself and take over New York. New York is needed. Teams are needed in New York. Who's on your team? I keep trying to get y'all to understand. Any of these cities you want to be in, who's on your team? Even here, as I'm coming here, I'm showing certain stuff because I'm recruiting for my team. Right? As I open up these service businesses, I already have certain people coming onto the team. I'm not running those things. They're already going to be run. Right? There's already, there's plenty of young men who are coming out of college with construction management degrees and needing a job and willing to work really hard for you so they can figure it out. I'm building a team. That's what I'm doing out here, building a team. You can take 2 to 3 people and you can take over a whole city. And y'all think I'm joking about that. I've watched people literally in an 18-month window with a team of 5, and it's a husband and wife, 2 husband and wife teams, and 1 other extra guy build 150 properties. I've seen it. I can document it. I can show you. Real estate will still be the bad boy of bad boys, because if you build 10 and you keep 2, 10 years from now, your family is the family. The reason you can go to Houston and 80% of the 3rd ward is owned by 5 families, 2 Italian families and 3 Jewish families, is because they're playing the game. But you come to Houston and you just want to be at the club and do the hookah. You don't want to buy a house. You don't want to invest. Oh, I don't want to live here. I don't want to. Okay, cool. You don't got to. But are you on a team? Are you playing in the team? Who's your team? This is why this whole argument about, like, I don't want to have any kids, I don't want to do this. I'm like, cool, cool. You can still contribute to the team without kids, but just remember, it's some of these dummies with kids. Those kids are going to have even more kids. So you have to pay attention to who's going to be on your team and who's going to come work for you. These people are going to keep working for people because it's the easiest way for them to get a check. But I'm ending the show with this because this is the best way to end the show. What is a future matriarch? Our community right now is struggling online to say these women is bad. Women's bad. And I'm glad Emma is getting her controversial shine. I think she planned this. That's just the best way I can say this. I think she planned this. But this is a very thing I want y'all to understand. What is a future matriarch? Now, yes, this woman's husband is a little bit older than her. Y'all know what time it is. We ain't got to go there, but we say what we say. What is a future matriarch? A woman who is preparing to stand at the center of her family's story. Now, y'all not going to like this because y'all like, no, Erica, no. These women, no. Listen, I can tell you when I meet people and I meet their mama, I know how they family going down. I know. I've shown y'all there's a white girl on the internet right now. She's blowing up because she's showing how her mom would host parties at her house and cook food. Basically be a little Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart is an aspirational goal because Martha Stewart did what? Hosted parties, cultivated house parties. Not wow parties, house parties. I have family members who they cultivate the party. On that weekend, you go to their house for the house event. You go to their house for the weekend cookout. I had an uncle, he passed, but he would have the best weekend twice a month cookouts. It would be 50 people, 60 people come over there. They're grilling, they're cooking. He's walking around talking to everybody. He's got the little red cup. He's having a great time. And when he passed, people are like, man, we really miss your uncle. What they were saying is they missed the environment he cultivated. So it doesn't just have to be the dad. It doesn't have to be the mom. But I want to end it on a positive note here. What is a future matriarch, okay? A woman who is preparing to stand at the center of her family story. If your mom's a terrible ratchet, is that the future story you want to give your kids? Because your kids are going to tell people, my mom was so horrible, we had to overcome her, okay? So I just want to go here. I'm going to read it to you. A future matriarch is a woman with one hand reaching back to preserve what came before, okay? And the other hand guiding what's next. She understands her influence stretches across generation. So she lives with intention, not impulse. We said it again. She lives with intention, not impulse. AKA Emma Green, schedules, intense time, small periods. She's not only building a legacy, she's protecting one. Okay, there are many people who have protected their daddy. You didn't know your daddy was a Rolling Stone till he died, okay? Because your mom protected that information. Y'all don't want to hear that part of the story, but that's part of the story, okay? She carries the stories, the names, the recipes, the rituals. This lady said this thing the other day, and I laughed. And she was like, some men just get up and go to work, and so they're bored. So yeah, they want a wife and a family. Not realizing that's not the real work. The real work is the food. The real work is the schedules. The real work is keeping these kids alive. Is cultivating a home. When people ask, what do you bring to the table? Motherfucker, they are the table. They are the table. You can always go to some man's house who's just him. He go to work. He got like a cheap table. He got a couch and a TV. It's not a home. It's a place. It's a place for him to sleep, but it ain't a home. I can bet you right now with my eyes closed. He got black and gold is the color, or black and red. A lot of Negroes love black and red. You go to their house and you're like, what is this shit? It's not a home. Okay. So let me continue. I'm gonna keep reading it. Okay. She remembers people as they were, not just what they achieved. Okay. She keeps birthdays alive, traditions intact, photographs labeled, and memories from disappearing. I have an aunt with dementia. On her refrigerator is a calendar, and it has the months in the different shapes, and she has people birthdays on it. Even though she has dementia, she knew to call me on my birthday. She looked on her refrigerator and looked on her wall and called me. And even when this dementia gets worse, I have a feeling she'll still know to look on that refrigerator and call my different family members and my different cousins and say happy birthday to them. Why? Because that's a part of being a matriarch. Nobody wants to hear that part, but that's the truth. Okay? They stay connected because someone chose to be the keeper. Someone's the keeper of the stories. Your story ends when the last person mentions your name. I got family members, they tell me stories about, I never met them. There's a woman, they have a picture, they show me, I look just like her, would have never known. I always think, damn, who do I look like? They found this picture of this 98-year-old woman in our family and found a picture when she was young. You look like this woman right here. But that only happens if someone keeps the stories, right? So she becomes that woman slowly over time. She can't be working like a mule if you want her to become that woman, okay, y'all? She can't. She leads quietly through hospitality, consistency, and care. She curates her life not for appearances, but for memory and meaning, okay? She invests in what adores, values over validation, quality over quantity, rhythm over rush. A future matriarch is both a historian, and architect, honoring the roots while shaping the branches. She's becoming the woman her family will one day say, she kept us together. And y'all know this is true because I can ask hundreds of Black people, and I asked them what happened when grandma died. It was over. I ask tons of people all the time, what happened when your grandma died? The family was over. What happens when some people moms die? The siblings don't even speak to each other. It's a wrap. So it matters if you're the woman, how you keep this family together. Do they have consistent good memories of you? Can there be 10 or 12 people in a room saying all these positive things about you? For some of y'all, that will be a no. Okay? Anyway, if you want to join the community, that's her thing, her pitch at the end. But I just want y'all to understand, like, a lot of y'all, once the grandma died, it was a wrap. Y'all don't remember people. Y'all don't remember great uncle whoever. Y'all don't remember all these people. This is how, like, right now in my family, we have people coming back from New York City we ain't seen in 30 years talking about they're going to buy a house around the corner from the family land because they know we still down here. That's how we have family we had a family member, this is before me, but of course, and his sister decided she was going to be a white woman. And she went up to Pennsylvania and married a Jewish man. And when the baby came out dark, the Jewish man didn't throw her away. He didn't send her on a train back to North Carolina. He said, I know you was a something. You know what I'm saying? And he moved her to where, y'all? Philly. They own 30 properties near Temple University. That side of the family, yes, now they're back being Black and Indian people. But at the time, the man didn't throw her away because he said she had a Southern charm about her. He figured something was off once they saw how dark that baby was. Okay? But we have family members who, to this day, once they left Philly, a lot of them own property in Delaware and other places and whatnot. But they were able to keep coming back to North Carolina because we own farms, we own businesses, we own rentals, and we kept the story going. We have a family reunion coming up this year. We have 4 or 5 people who have dementia. We basically get on the phone and write down everything we can of what they know. Family members, stories, names, right? The reason I even know on my other side of my family about us owning a plantation, being plantation owners and having a few slaves is because a 97-year-old told me all the names I needed to know. I was able to connect with another branch of the family that has a secret Facebook page. Okay? And we keep them together. They're like, yeah, this is so amazing that we're still all business owners and landowners all these generations later after slavery's been over. And we can trace back where we've been farmers and landowners in parts of the Carolinas. We owned a blueberry farm in the 1700s and the 1800s, and we own land near the beach. We can keep all this data because someone had to write it down. This is how, when you talk to me, I don't act like I'm not from something. Well, you think so high of yourself, Erica? Hell yeah. Because I can show you a track record of people who fought the good fight and had land and had businesses. I'm not the first. It's not rare. It's not unique. It's not crazy. But when you don't know your history, no one kept it up, y'all will walk in life like this. Okay? So I'm going to end the show here. I just want to make it very clear, over the next 90 days or however long I'm on this particular channel, everything else that's like construction related or, you know, the development, we'll put it on a separate channel, just going to keep it separate. I'm going to speak life into y'all because I know everybody comes on this platform to not speak life, to tell you everybody's a slut and a hoe and a terrible man and you're never going to get married. You do not have to live that. You do not have to receive curses over your life. You can go live a great life and amend and fix and turn it around and buy farmland and do all these things. You're not going to do it being a freaking slug, though. You're not going to do it not having a schedule, okay? And that's what I have for y'all today. So I'm going to read this comment right here. This true women are historians, caretakers, and memory keepers of the family. Yeah, that's why you need to make sure you have lots of money as a woman. Because when it all comes down, who's going to take care of you? Do you have the funds? I know a 105-year-old woman right now in South Carolina. To this day, some of her children have died, and she still has funds to take care of herself. She owns the rental. She has a triplex, and the other two are old people. The other two people and the other are old people too, and they paying her rent. Her family paying rent to her to this day for that triplex. So don't get it twisted. It's very simple if you want to follow it. All right. I was like that when I was single, 1-bedroom apartment, $750 rent. There were some good times, but I wouldn't trade it for what I have now. Congratulations. That's what having a wife and kids and a life is like. Salute, salute. Anyway, let me get on out of here. Y'all are wonderful. I think y'all are great. Y'all have a great afternoon and good luck. If I don't see y'all next week, there'll be some clips out later. Also, Middleman a Million. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Hi, I'm Brandy Williams, founder of Williams Accounting and Tax Services in McDonough, Georgia. We're a full-service accounting firm proudly serving clients nationwide, including military families and U.S. expats. With over 20 years of experience as an IRS-enrolled agent, we've got you covered from past tax returns to business services and strategic tax planning. Visit WilliamsActTax.com. Let's get connected and take your finances to the next level.